Welcome back. Poor DJ didn't even make it into this episode, which stinks. Sorry, DJ. But we shall live on. I have plenty of this shit now. Plenty. So, start using the iron pick. Start moving a little faster in general. And get a little lower. That is the goal currently. Is that going to be enough? Can't tell. It was enough. I think that's enough too. I'm going to put another stick in just in case. But it should be enough. So we're here. If you didn't know, this is called something of one. UHC. I don't remember exactly what. Playing a lot of rounds lately. But basically what's going on is we're by ourselves. Ooh, I didn't even realize it was multiple torches. Holy shit. We are by ourselves, and someone might be coming in at some point during this game to interview us and see what we think about what's going on. And I don't know what they're going to be asking, but they're going to be asking stuff. It sounds really fun, so I was like, yeah, sure, I'll play. I'm currently mid-quarantine. Today is April 3rd. It's about 5:48 in the afternoon. 5:48 in the afternoon on a Friday, April 3rd. So it's, you know, it hasn't felt like Friday. Been out of work for about a week and a half. But hey, maybe everything will be fine. Who knows? Why don't I talk about this episode about Warriors, the Warriors series? Big fan of Warriors. Big fan of Warriors. So if you didn't know, Warriors is a series by Aaron Hunter. Aaron Hunter is not a real person. He is a ghost author name sort of thing created by ghostwriters. The main one being Victoria Holmes, although she no longer really works on the project. Can I get down there? No, I cannot really. The other main ones being Kate Carey, Cherith Baldry, Tui Sutherland, Clarissa Hutton, and a whole bunch of others. Gillian Phillip is one that I really like. So, what is the deal with Bravelands, or with, sorry, Warriors, why there's so many authors? Well, because Aaron Hunter actually writes multiple series. Mainly Vicky, Kate, and Cherith work on the Warriors series. And then also the Seeker series, which no longer is going on. Warriors is still going on. It's in its 7th 6-book arc, so that's still happening, which I love. Survivors was written by, I forget who was mainly working on that. Bravelands by Gillian Phillip. These are 4 series being written by people using the Aaron Hunter persona, published by HarperCollins. Now, what is Warriors? Well, Warriors to me is... I started reading it when I was in 5th grade, right? And it kind of is a children's series, although it gets very serious. And certainly very dark. It's not a series that would still be for, I guess, kids if it was ever translated to big screen, which is something that has been floated around before. You know, the villains are ostensibly evil. There's plenty of death. And plenty of, you know, real world sort of topics that happen in it. So it's more, I would say, like a teen to young adult series, in my opinion, anyway. But, you know, it is a book about cats, at the end of the day. That's what it is. So Warriors, the reason I love Warriors so much, even now, is mainly because of the characters. The writing can be a little wonky at times, as you kind of get sometimes with like, kids' books. But, you know, I still love it. So... I can briefly kind of explain. It has these arcs, which are 6 books long, that usually tell a story about certain characters. So there's, you know, usually there's one in the first one, and then there's, you know, 2 or 3 or 4 characters in each one. Okay, don't hurt me. It is depth, so I can take loads more damage down here. We are at the spot where mobs do 5 times the damage, so. Ooh, okay. We're gonna come back to this direction. Then there's also super editions, which are longer than the main series books, but usually only talking from the perspective of one character. There is one where it's two characters for a little bit, but it's one character mainly, and that's telling a story. And sometimes it works sort of as a biography for that character, and sometimes it works sort of telling a story that needs to be told by their perspective and not from someone of the main series. So, for instance, if one character goes away on a journey for a little bit, like what happens for the book Tigerheart's Shadow, in response to, his disappearing in Darkest Night and River of Fire, then it sort of tells his perspective of that. And then so you're not thrown off when you see all these characters and hear about all these events that happened. Then, of course, there's these novellas, which are like super editions, but actually work in the opposite sense, in which they are smaller. They're usually about 10 chapters, so about 100 pages, as opposed to like 300 pages, which is a normal book, and about 450 pages, which is about a super edition. And they'll just tell a smaller story. Again, sometimes they can be biographical, sometimes they can be telling specific stories that can't be told by the main characters. And I like those. They tend to be, because if you don't like them, they're smaller. If you don't like the character they're about, they're smaller, and they're kind of easier to digest than a super edition. Like, you can easily read a novella in one sitting. It's just 10 chapters. Sometimes it's just 9 chapters. So if you're just reading it to find out what happens and move on, and you're not really enjoying it, well, you can move on pretty quickly. Whereas super editions, you're going to tend to dislike a lot more while reading if it's about a character you don't like. Though it does tend to be more plot relevant than novellas. Then, of course, they got guides. They got these like sort of graphic novel things. They used to release them as mangas. They re-released them as colored graphic novels. And it's sort of the same as novellas, except they wanted to try something different. So they wanted to try showcasing, stories, but this time from a visual perspective. And that, I think, gives them a good quality, good characteristic. It gives them feeling that you don't really get out of a book, because you're really seeing, in the cat's heads, and, well, less in the cat's heads, more what's going on around, and that can help for people who maybe struggle to sort of visualize when they're reading, which I know a couple people who are like that. So they really have books for everybody, for warriors. They cover a large series of topics. You've got sort of religion, a little bit, but not the way, it is in real life. Where, it's sort of discussing, letting other people, or, cats, live the way they want to, and sort of letting them hang on to that. Or what happens when you don't do that. And sometimes it works out for the better, sometimes it doesn't work out for the better. There's not one right answer to all of that. There's also things like the ideas of forbidden love. That's a common one. That's a very popular, I wouldn't say popular like with the fan base, because I think sometimes they get tired of it, but it's a very popular one for the story to tell. Is the forbidden love thing. There'll be, we're cross boundaries, we're in different clans, we can't do this, we can't be together, others will be very upset if we are together, but, usually that ends up resulting in sad things. There's a lot of tragedy, there's a lot of death. There are characters who will die in childbirth, there will be kits who are born dead. There will be cats. There's a particular cat who's one of my favorites, who, a little bit unfairly, is struck by a falling tree and loses the use of her back legs forever. And these are wild living cats. There's a cat who's born blind, who has to sort of kind of cope with that in a world where everyone can see. There's spying. That's my favorite character, actually. There's characters who, will spy, and they put themselves in danger. And there's different ways of killing. Cats will get drowned. In this series, cats will get effectively disemboweled, but they don't say it so blatantly. You know, it's really, it can be a serious series sometimes, and that's what I appreciate it for. It's not afraid to cover things like trauma. It's not afraid to cover things like... There's a creeper over there. To cover things like the consequences of your actions, be it good or bad, or both, when they're good and bad. It's not afraid to go into detail about what's going on in the world of these cats. And I really like that about it. Just let it die. Alright. I don't trust that. Oh boy. Yeah, I guess it couldn't hurt to pick up a little more iron and stuff while I'm up here. So, what else can I talk about with warriors? So, what's going on right now is there's sort of possession. I won't give too much spoilers away in case people do want to look into the series, and I recommend you do. It's very good. But there's a sort of case of possession going on right now. So the book is going to come out. People are expecting it to sort of let us know. We're pretty sure we know, the fandom. But it's going to sort of let us know for sure. And, you know, have other characters figure it out. Because the puzzle pieces are there for us to kind of figure out who it's supposed to be. It's just about, you know, if the characters, excuse me, can figure out who it's supposed to be and what's supposed to be going on. I do see the lapis. I'm going to pick that up. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the book. Really been liking the later the books of this Warrior series personally. So I want to talk about some of my favorite parts of the series. Well, there's a book called Cricket Star's Promise. Now, if you read anything about Warriors in the first arc, there is this cat who's leading one of the clans called River Clan, named Cricket Star. You really don't get a whole lot about him. He's just kind of there. He doesn't get too many lines. Well, they decided let's give him a book. So they sort of wrote his story, and that's one I really like. So Cricket Star, he has a broken jaw, and it was broken in a traumatic way when he was a kid. And because of this, his mother sort of cast him aside. Now the rest of the clan is very accepting of him at you know, after getting over the shock of what he looks like. Particularly his brother, a certain character who becomes a love interest. His medicine cat, you know, is sort of like the healer of the clan. That kind of stuff. But and his father, of course. But his mother just sort of casts him aside and seemingly doesn't really care about him anymore. It is now a diagnosis. What does that mean? Is that a meme? Who knows? So it just sort of explores him. There's a character who is a villain. There's sort of like a Warrior Cats Heaven, which is Star Clan, and a Warrior Cats Hell, which is called the Dark Forest. And in some of the series, they sort of go over Warrior Cats. In Warrior Cats Hell, for like the Dark Forest, they'll go into dreams of living cats and try to recruit them to their side. And so Cricket Star kind of gets influenced, and we see this. He gets influenced by a cat who is from the Dark Forest. So it's just something it's a book I really enjoy. It's a book that really does its characters very well. Even the characters who aren't like main characters. Let's stop for a bit. I wanna cook. I wanna sit here and smelt my gold real quick. Make my golden apples while I still can. And then I'll also mine some blocks. We need blocks. Let's see. So we'll cook up more of our iron. And then our gold. We have tons of coal, so I don't need to worry about spreading out the coal. So, I can't really talk about too many of the other books I really enjoy, but, you know, it's just sort of, it's the series, and I think the characters have charm. The stories can be a little cheesy sometimes. Sometimes they're really impressive, and they strike really impressive heartstrings, and they work with really impressive plot points. For a book that, on all appearances, is just like a kid's book. But it's got, what we got? So we got 6 book arcs. We're in the 7th right now. So this Tuesday, when the next book comes out, we're going to have 39 books in the series. That's not counting the 12 super editions at the moment. And after the 3 more novellas come out next Tuesday, which will definitely be after this releases, that'll be up to 18 novellas. So we got 39 main series books, 18 novellas, 12 super editions. I'm going to do some quick maths on a calculator. We got 39 plus 18 plus 12. So right there, that's 69. Funny number. That is 69. Plus we got about 4 graphic novel / manga series. It's in like 4 guidebooks. So that brings us up to about 77. The novella books are generally condensed into these little 3-book packs, where it's about the length of a normal Warriors book, but it has, I don't think I need to eat apples yet, but there's 3 books in it. There we go. So there'll be 3 novellas in it. So, you know, about normal. They've also been doing the audiobooks, which I was super grateful about. I love the audiobooks. I just love audiobooks in general. Big fan of like Star Wars ones. The author who they've been doing same-day releases now since this new arc came out, and the author who does them, someone who I really like his work. Let's see. Let's not throw out our golden apples. That would be bad. Is Nether on? I don't even know. I would totally go. Ooh. The Nether is on. I want to go. I really want to go. Alright, we're going. I never get a chance to go to the Nether in UHC anymore. I really want to go. Alright, let's... It's going to be a little bit annoying, but that's fine. Okay. I really want to go. So I'm going to set this up so we're going to go to the Nether next episode. Oh, I'm so excited. I don't know the last time I went to the Nether in an RR. It's always really freaky. Especially now it's self-diagnosis. Oh my god. This is going to be incredible. This is going to be terrifying. I don't have any diamonds. I never find diamonds. I'm not shocked about that. Oh man. I'm so excited. Oop. Yes. All right. We don't have string, unfortunately, so we can't make a bow, but I might as well make arrows on the off chance I manage to get a bow. But next time, we're going to go to the Nether and see what that's like. See you next time.